it's me, Lucy. Now, it might sound like I'm yelling, and that's because I am. I'm in State College, Pennsylvania, and here's the thing. The mic didn't work. I don't know if it was my fault. I don't think so. You guys sent me with my dad. He's certainly not qualified to fix that problem. So I have a few things I'd like to say sorry for. First, I'm sorry for all the mean things I've said about Miami. I still don't like it there, and I still don't have any friends. However, it's not 40 degrees and raining there. I'm in hell. It's awful out here. It's disgusting. I just had to put on a second pair of pants. How about that for your climate fact of the day? 2 pairs of pants in September. That's ridiculous. But the second thing I'd like to apologize for is I didn't really get any content today. Like I mentioned earlier, 40 degrees and raining, wasn't really feeling that. The mic's not working. My dad, he's doing the best he can. He filmed the video and was like, hey, Lucy, the numbers aren't going up. Should I be concerned? Yeah, you didn't press record. So we're doing the very best we can here, but here's a reminder, Dan, I'm filming this before Iowa has played. So if Iowa loses, which I expect will happen,
let's go Hawks! Let's go Hawks! Let's go Hawks!
You're not allowed to be mean to me about any of this because I'll be going through a tough time. And that would be really rude if you were mean to me about it. So just remember I did my best. The microphone, I don't know what happened there. And go Hawks!
Woosasa! Woosasa! Hit him in the head with a woosasa! 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 Hit him in the head with a woosasa!
They lost in the most Iowa way possible, just scoring no points at all, wildly uninteresting. I am promising the audio, or I'm promising the audience, I should say, that our audio, after 2 years of just unrelenting avalanche of torrent, is going to get better on television. I am promising this, not knowing if I can actually keep the promise.
I was going to say, be careful.
Because I cannot tell you how tired I am of paying people to not have audio right when our business is an audio business. How have we sent her to Penn State with not functioning audio? That seems wildly inefficient, however it is that companies run their business.
Sounds like you're being mean to her.
Yeah. She said that was one of the rules.
That was the first where you can't be mean to her.
I'm not being mean to her.
Lost,
yeah. It's not her
We're also
fault.
not
It's
an
40
audio
degrees.
company.
Right,
It's
yeah.
I mean, it's important, but
2 pairs of pants.
you're only going to see the growth in video.
We're a sticker company.
We used to be one, but
The most scared I've ever been professionally was the much aforementioned trip to China with Michael Jordan. Because 8 days
wait, when was this? This is the first.
Never
I'm hearing
heard
about
of this.
8 days into the trip, I lost my notes, all of my notes for a magazine piece that I was working on. And I had to go through a Chinese street fair, not speaking the language, obviously, trying to find my notes. ESPN, 8 days of company expense. I imagine Lucy had some of those fears when she gets there and she doesn't have functioning audio equipment.
And her dad to be the camera person, who I'm learning we hired. So great.
He's
Nice.
a VP, I heard.
Nice.
Welcome.
I want to, Stugotz, read you.
I need a solution for merch by end of business.
I want to read to you guys a couple of things being said. Rex Ryan of yesterday's 70-point outpouring. Rex Ryan said, "That's the worst defense. I've only been on the planet 60 years, and I've never seen anything that bad." Juxtaposed Stugotz against Sean Payton, the aforementioned, paid $17 to $20 million a year, 4 or 5 years, to be a savior for the Broncos. I will remind you of the quote that he had of Nathaniel Hackett coaching the Broncos, where he said, "It might have been one of the worst coaching jobs in the history of the NFL. That's how bad it was. Everything I heard about last season, we're doing the opposite." And he then blamed it on his 2 lattes for breakfast. He said he gave an interview that was too honest because he had 2 lattes.
What does he care? The money's guaranteed.
You think he doesn't care because the money's guaranteed? That's a thing that you think? You not caring because your money is guaranteed is something I have evidence of.
That's why I think it. Yeah,
Sean-
Hackett started the season 2-1. I mean,
Sean Payton, I'm sure, is hurting, and even I know you and Billy consistently think the money cures this stuff. He's got to be a little scared of what it is that he has just signed up for, because he's already been quoted privately. These are anonymous quotes saying, hey, what's with my quarterback and all the kissing of babies? That he's told Russell Wilson, hey, care a little bit less about how you're perceived and do a little more in the way of real leading. That quarterback play for what they're paying him, Stugotz, through 2028, I don't know how you fix that.
It feels like they have more problems than just a quarterback, where last year it felt like the quarterback was kind of holding them back. They got a lot of problems, but I will say he very clearly cares. Let's once again revisit video post-game of his interaction with a reporter. This sounds like a dude that cares.
I know that you said it's embarrassing, but this is kind of an historic game. I mean, this is
I'm aware.
the third time the team has scored 70 points over 7.
What's the question?
I mean,
What's the
how do
question?
you feel about it being
I just finished telling you.
Historically embarrassing.
Next question.
The testiness of coaches, week 3, Stugotz.
I mean, Dan, they just dropped 70 on his defense. I mean, 70.
It's week 3, though. We have the sound we played a couple of weeks ago of Brandon Staley. And Stugotz, when you mention Brandon Staley, because there are a lot of people enjoying his failures, and they barely got out yesterday with a victory in Minnesota. Mm-hmm. But here is a stat from Chris Rim. And Stugotz was saying during the break, he volunteered during the break, that if I went out and all I was doing was looking at how a team looks physically, that the Chargers are the team that he would take to be great at football. And he's only doing that because their receivers are giant.
Yes.
And now Mike Williams is out for the season. But here's a number from Chris Rim that I thought, this is a 1-2 team with the testy Brandon Staley. Listen to this. The Vikings blitzed on 81.6% of Justin Herbert's dropbacks yesterday. Against the blitz, he was 32 for 38 for 301 yards and 3 touchdowns. The most completions, attempts, and passing yards any QB has had against the blitz in a game since it was tracked in 2006. And they eke out a victory at the very end, squeak it out. I don't know how Minnesota was in that game, given what I was seeing from the Chargers.
They're in every game. Both teams are.
Yes, that is correct. And the only thing to me that was more surprising at the end of it, when I'm like, how did they win that game? Because I saw Arizona beat Dallas. I know how Arizona beat Dallas, but I'm still wondering, 24 hours later, how the hell did the Packers beat the Saints? Even with Derek Carr getting injured.
Oh, Derek Carr hasn't been very good.
No, but Derek Carr was up 17-0 in that game when he was in the game, and the Packers looked totally incompetent for most of that game. But play the Brandon Staley sound of what does the pressure feel like to you when you have Mike Williams, when you have Keenan Allen, when you have Justin Herbert. You know you're supposed to be great, but you're 1-2 and you barely got that one.
Yeah, we just lost a game in overtime, Jeff. So how do you think the mood is? How do you think the mood is? How do you think it is? It's tough. It's tough. It's a tough group in there. There's a lot of pride in that room.
Who's the next one who's going to give us the testy coach sound? Because it's been a staple since before Dennis Green.
McDaniels, especially not going for it at the 4-yard line on 4th down 8 or whatever. He's next.
I'm going to say Coach Prime.
Say Robert Saleh.
McDaniels looks more like he's got some testy in him, though.
Yeah.
Just looks like it?
He looks like a guy that he can...
He's going to snap.
Yes.
He's going to snap. The visor. It's the visor, Dan.
You're saying there's a boiling rage simmering underneath the facade of whatever it is would be his stoicism. You see a boiling rage. Or is it just the play of his quarterback who throws the ball 4 yards?
It's hand in hand. It's hand in hand for sure.
I think Zach Taylor's on the list.
Wow.
I don't think he's capable.
I think Zach Taylor's
Really?
going to, if they lose another one, he's going to, you know where we've been the past few seasons, right? You remember we were in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, right? That's coming.
Wow, yeah.
Things change fast in that sport. I don't know what you expect tonight, Stugotz, but I am already at not expecting Burrow to be good. and it's only because I assume he's injured. I
Right.
assume he's not healthy.
As good.
I don't even see. Well, no, but I mean, the first 2 games he has not been good. It's
He
not.
is not,
It's
no.
not as good. You proclaimed him the best quarterback in the league
When healthy, yes.
again and again.
Yeah, it's those are 2 really difficult defenses to go up against when your timing is off. I mean, Browns and Mina said that her favorite DC is in Baltimore with all the different looks that they're disguising. So you couple that with his injury and also that he hasn't been that sharp. It's a tough way to get started.
That Ravens game yesterday.
Can you believe it? We've glossed over it because so much happened over the weekend. But for the first time, Justin Tucker missed a kick.
You just can't have a third of your starters out, or you'll lose to Minshew.
And Minshew had an Orlovsky.
That is not an Orlovsky. That is not an Orlovsky.
It's not. It's not.
I understand. You want to parse and say he didn't run
it's
out
not
of bounds.
parsing.
It was back heel, Mike.
If a quarterback
Back
steps,
heel.
quarterback steps out of bounds,
Mike.
it was described as an Orlovsky. Take it up with Scott Hansen.
Mike's
folks.
right.
It's
The
an
rules
Orlovsky.
are
Nope.
if your quarterback
Nope.
steps
No.
out
You
of
gotta take
bounds,
multiple steps.
if your
multiple steps out
quarterback
of
steps
bounds.
out of
No.
bounds, what?
Making up
You the
rules.
gatekeeper?
No, yes.
Scott Hansen
Yes.
is a
No,
gatekeeper.
he's
But how else
No.
would you
called it
describe
Orlovsky.
it?
He Orlovsky.
No.
He Orlovsky.
Absolutely not. No, you have to run for
Orlovsky
10
said it's an
yards.
Orlovsky.
You
Yes,
have
Dan.
you have to run for 10 yards outside of the field of play as if you are scared and being chased by a lion.
He Orlovsky.
I am really torn, Stugotz, between whether or not I should talk to Mike about Escalator etiquette or whether I should talk to Billy about dishwasher strategy.
Wow.
Because
Can't do both, huh?
you can't do both at the same time. You have to choose. So I am going to choose dishwasher strategy.
Wow.
Billy, what is your strategy when it comes to your dishwasher?
Well, it's not so much a strategy as it's I think I have figured out in my household the most efficient way to use the dishwasher. And I know where the tall plate should go, where the little plate should go, where the bowls should go, where the glass bowls should go, where the Tupperware should go. I think I figured out where the coffee cup should go, where the glasses should go. If we throw the baby bottles in there, where they should go, where the top nipple of the baby bottle should go. I think I figured out the best place to put most of these things to maximize the space that I have and the efficiency to not do another, round of the dishwasher, right? Now, here's the problem. I can't make this like an official proclamation or an edict of this is the way we need to do it. I can't put up a diagram like on the fridge or something because that's crazy. Why would be something a crazy person would do, right? I also can't, bring people around and say, hey, let me teach you the most efficient way to use this dishwasher. Because again, that'd be something a crazy person would do. But it also kind of eats at me when I see that things are not being done the way that I've seen them be the most efficient because I'll see it loaded sometimes. Like if my wife will load it or my mother-in-law will do it.
Okay, but it's only them, right? These are the only people in your home who are doing it incorrectly according to you, but you don't want to tell them they're doing it incorrectly?
Not incorrectly. I wouldn't use that verbiage. I'd say they're doing it differently than I would do it, and I'm doing it the right way.
Okay, so that's nice of you to do it that way, but how are
You're
they
terrified, huh?
How are they doing it the wrong way?
Well,
What are
I
they
just
doing?
sometimes see, okay, first of all, sometimes.
Call out your mother-in-law, dude.
No, I'm not. I'm not calling anyone out. But Dan, here's a predicament that I'm in, okay?
I dare you.
If I have this set up to maximum efficiency, right? And then I see that things are not set up for maximum efficiency, I can't then just and throw up my hands and open it and start reorganizing it, right? I have to just let it go. If I start doing that, then I look like a crazy person. I look like a tyrant. I look like a jerk. If I'm just there undoing the dishwashing that someone was intending to do and I'm trying to reorganize. But sometimes I see it, I'm like, I can fit 3 more cups in there. I can fit 3 more plates in there. 1 bowl, I can fit 8 bowls in that space. What are we doing here? You know what I mean? You have to account for the water flow. Sometimes the water goes up. If the bowl's facing down, you know that bowl's just going to get full of water. It's going to go straight down. It's not against other things. You need to kind of look at it and figure out. You need to become the water, honestly. When you're there and you're loading a dishwasher, become the water. Yes. Try to figure out where the water wants to go. Mm-hmm. And that's how you kind of move the plates and the bowls around.
Lazy river.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
You be the water and you figure out the crevices and how it's going to get there.
Bruce Lee said, "Be water." Famously,
see,
talking about
dishwashers,
talking about martial
probably.
arts. Now, just be water when you talk about. I want to applaud you, Billy. Though,
no, don't. I haven't fixed the problem. It's an ongoing problem because I can't tell anyone you're doing it wrong.
There's a bigger problem. No, there's a bigger problem in our culture. There's a bigger problem in our culture, and I want to applaud you for using your dishwasher because for some reason
I'm lazy.
there was a big no, you're not lazy. You're doing it the right way.
I actually feel like I wash the dishes before I put them in the dishwasher,
That's also
which
the
is
wrong way
not
to
the
do
right
it.
way to
Yeah,
be doing it.
stupid
Because
way to
I
do
put
it.
it in there and
I
I'm
do
like,
that
"Whew,
too.
these things are really clean. I
Yeah.
probably don't need to do this second go round here in the dishwasher, but I do it just in case."
I over rinse as well before going in
And then
the
there's like
dishwasher.
fluid.
It's a light rinse.
I don't understand how it works. You put in a liquid to dry the things after. What is that? What is that? Do you know about this, Dan? What is that? You go in there and you squirt. There's a compartment in the dishwasher and it's drying liquid. Never heard of such a thing. But I get it. I put it in there. I don't know how
can't be
much
good
to
for
put.
us.
I don't know how. Thank you.
That can't be
Probably
good for
can't be
us.
good for. What is that? But if I don't put it in, then they're all wet. And then cups. When you put cups upside down, they just pool water on top. What is that? What is that?
You need to put them upside down, though. You need to put the cups
look at
upside
you.
down. Oh, I have
Well, I
done-
do, but some of them
do
have
the
like,
dishes,
like a
believe it or
ledge.
not.
Some, some mugs have ledges, and it's the whole
have
thing.
that.
Yeah.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Are you surprised Dan does his own dishes?
So again, I want to applaud Billy because he's using the dishwasher. For some reason, our culture has been told. I don't know by whom. I don't know if they said it when we got to this country. Use your dishwasher as storage.
For mail, yeah.
Cuban people, Hispanic people use their dishwashers to like hide things as una gaveta, basically. I don't know why.
It's true.
Inexplicably, like my grandparents would have like newspaper there, and I was like, guys, what? Like this was from 6 years ago. Why do we have this newspaper here? Oh, it was a clipping. They had your grandfather's name in it. And I was like, oh, okay, but we don't use it. I use it. Billy uses it, so I want to applaud you.
I have
Billy.
a question now that we're on the topic of appliances. We'll get back to dishwashers, Dan, because I'm curious as to your strategy here. Do you have sometimes pots and pans stored inside of the oven?
Never.
I do.
That happens sometimes. Not a fan. Not a fan because I'll go and I'll preheat sometimes, and then I'm like, well, now I have this hot ass pot. What am I supposed to do with this thing now?
Right.
Don't love it.
For
and
me,
if
it's
it's like wood, a cutting board, I can start a fire.
It's
What
usually
is that?
it's the cookie sheet for me. That's what I have inside the oven. I'll preheat it, forget it's there, but it's okay. I need to use it anyway.
And you grab it with your hand.
Yeah.
Parchment
Burn it.
paper, by the way, what is it? What is parchment paper? Have you seen it?
It doesn't burn though,
It
so I
can
don't
clean
know.
everything. Try to clean something with parchment paper. It'll clean it.
Let's go back for a second. Put these things on the poll, please, at Le Batard Show. Do you use your oven for storage, and do you use your dishwasher for storage? I thought this was fairly simple. I thought the cups go upside down on the top, and the
To the
plates
sides, right? You
No.
start on the sides with those cups. Yep.
I do. Yeah, you do kind of like a layer
Yep.
around the
They
side
go
with the
upside
cup.
down in the thing, though, no?
Upside
Upside
yes,
down, but
but
along the edges,
Edges of the
top,
rack, yeah.
of the top rack. That's where you start with all the cups,
Right.
and then like bowls kind of go leaning against the cups. Yeah, semi-open, facing down, because the water's shooting up, so you want everything
Be the water.
upside down.
Be one
You
with
don't
the
want
water.
you don't want a bowl facing up. That's how what Billy was talking about. That's how you end up with full bowl
I
of
also
water.
like things to be uniform. If I'm going in this direction with this set of cups, it's going to be all of these cups all the way down until I run out of this cup, and then I'll go with mugs after that, or I'll go with bowls. If it's a plastic bowl, if it's like a glass bowl, I have those together in the same thing to make sure that everything is kind of in pairs.
Do you have any mugs or cups that have like designs on them so you don't feel safe putting them in the dishwasher?
Oh yeah, and I don't know what to. Here's the thing: what do we do with tumblers? I don't know. I don't know what I do with a metal cup. Some say
Like
not
a Yeti
dishwasher.
kind of?
Yeah, some say not dishwasher safe. Some say that they're not. What do I do with the little thing for the rice cooker? You know, that metal bowl. If I put that in there, then it comes out and it has like all these water stains on it, and I'm like, what do I do? And now that I'm talking it out, parchment paper. That's probably how you clean it.
Do you put your forks and silverware up or down?
Down.
Dangerous question. I also have a place for that. That is one too that like I get really preoccupied and bothered with is the placement of the silverware. Because in my dishwasher, there's like a thing that comes. I don't know if it's standard. I don't know how.
I have the
this
same thing.
works.
It's like
yeah,
a
it's like
thing.
a caddy almost for like utensils, right? So I put all the knives all the way in the back. So when I go and I grab the handle, I don't stab myself in the hand. Now sometimes I go in there and I reach down and I feel a little poke there on my finger right in between my knuckles, and I see a knife and I say, I know who's been loading this dishwasher.
I distribute the silverware one thing at a time. Like I don't put 3 in one and then like I'm like I have like a thing with 12 in my hand. It's like one in this one, one in this one. We go along and then we start back over 2 in this one.
I
then
chuck
2
them
this
all
one,
in
now
one
2 in this
basket.
one.
I mean,
No,
all of
that's
them.
horrible.
I make sure they're evenly
You're a
distributed.
nightmare. You're a nightmare. You're a nightmare. How can you do that? And then I have little because our like dining like silverware situation was a gift from my wife's aunt and uncle that live in Spain. So it's like Spanish and it's like different dimensions. So like they have like a different size spoon.
Wait, what do you
that I'm
mean?
like-
What do you mean? It's
I think
Spanish.
that
They have different
I'm
dimensions.
telling
what do you mean by that?
there's fish forks and all this stuff.
Do you have
and
a
it's like,
threek?
Yeah, that's for fish, I was told.
A threek is for fish?
Yeah, I don't know what a
Dan,
threek
do you know what a
is.
threek is?
I don't know. Oh, you're holding
It's a
up
fork.
3 fingers.
He
It's
made
a
up
fork.
the-
You know how
he
a
made
fork
up the
has
word.
4 pinchos? A threek has 3.
That's a made-up word. That's not a thing.
Well,
what do you mean?
I don't think a threek is the official
No,
name
it's
for
it's
it.
what I call it, a threek.
Yeah, exactly. That's for fish. But it comes with like these little spoons and these little forks that I don't know what they're for, and they're too small for the place
Happy
where you
God-
put. Yeah, yes, but it's too small to put into the compartment for the
Right?
spoon and the fork. So then I have to pair them with each other, and I have to have them facing opposite directions so that they can't slide through. And then sometimes they do slide through, and it hits the track, and it's a whole thing.
Can we talk for a second, though?
People do refer to them as threeks.
Yep.
We skipped right
Hello.
past.
Not adults.
Tony has it being a fork because it has 4 prongs, and he's spelling it F-O-U-R-K.
Right, correct.
Well, how do you spell it?
But we skipped right past Tony saying using the dishwasher for storage. If you're using it for storage, you're not using it to wash dishes, correct? You're never running it.
Never. It's got mail. It has newspapers. It has like But Billy, what have you seen in dishwashers that
I've seen a toilet seat in a dishwasher.
Really?
Get out of
Yes.
here.
Get out of here.
I have.
That's not true.
Come
I-
on.
I
As storage or
have.
to
Sounds
wash?
weird. Name names.
Is that how you washed it?
It's not how I washed it. I've seen
Use parchment
I've
paper.
seen it washed that way.
Where?
I like
A
that.
toilet seat. Yeah, you could probably find it on the internet. You would have
Where
no,
you saw it?
You would have no trouble whatsoever finding on Twitter a toilet seat in a dishwasher.
You want me to Google that? Hold on. What do I Google? When did Dan see a toilet in a dishwasher? Tell me what to type in.
I regret not going to Escalator.
So do
etiquette.
I.
Well, you haven't even gotten to hats. Don't wash a hat in a dishwasher. Those plastic things that you put hats in. Yeah. Oh, the worst.
They don't work?
They shrink. It's a whole thing. It's my childhood had so many hats ruined because my
Yeah,
parents
you
decided.
gotta take a shower with your hat to fit it, right?
No.
You've never heard that? What? You guys have never heard to get a fitted hat to fit the way you want, you take a shower with it.
No.
Do you wear clothes?
Look it up.
I
Look
just
it up.
put it on usually.
He was right about threek.
Put it on the poll at LeBatard Show. Have you ever showered wearing a hat so that
Do you
it'll
shampoo
be
and condition, or-
properly fitted?
No.
At LeBatard Show. I have never heard that. So just to be clear, Tony, you are nude wearing a hat.
Correct. Yeah, you can picture it. You're trying to get
Oh, I
you
sure
got a
can.
7 5/8. You're like, all right, this fits a little tight. I gotta loosen it up a little bit, get the hot water in. But yeah, you're nude all the way down. But then you got the hat on. Looks good. Nothing wrong with that.
So a toilet seat.
Yeah. Where did Dan? Go ahead and Google it. Where did
did
Dan use those sausage
Seems like
fingers
Google's
to go
coming up
ahead?
empty.
Is it?
Yeah.
Mike,
First time ever.
what is proper escalator etiquette?
We don't know what we're doing down here in Miami. You move to the right if you want to just enjoy the escalator experience.
Bingo.
You leave the left open. We can't get this right in
It's
South
not a
Florida.
walkway at an airport.
It's the speed lane.
No, it is. It's the same way, especially for public transportation when people are in a hurry. If you go to London, for example, you'll realize that they have this locked down. You absolutely stand to the right, and if you're in a hurry, you go to the left. Here in South Florida, if you ride the Metro Rail, it's a disaster. No one's ever
my
sat
step.
these people down and told them this is a proper etiquette. I am here for all of you.
Dude, I got-
if you're on an escalator, you step to the right side. If you're just there to casually enjoy the ride.
I got 30 seconds on this thing. This is my step. And I'm going arms spread. And no
You're
one's
taking the whole
passing me.
way.
This is like, who's in that big of a hurry? You'll be down
Some
there in
people.
30
People.
I'll be
Catch a
down there in
train.
10 seconds.
I'm trying to catch a train. I'm in a hurry.
Same thing applies to the walkways in an airport, right?
Yes,
Thank
but
you.
for whatever reason, people know about that, but not just normal escalators.
Thank you, Stugotz.
It does.
Yeah,
Get out of
well,
my way.
There's also Steve Martin.
We welcome back now one of our Meadowlark interns to do a horrifying climate stat of the day, even though he wants to just do sports stats. And while we have done in the past bits with Adam McKay, I promise you, honestly, that I am telling the truth and it is no bit, that the last time he was on with us, he became so rattled that we did not believe his climate stat of the day that he almost started crying. I am not telling any lies here. This was something that happened to him because he said whatever it was, 14 Hiroshima bombs a second is what's percolating in our ocean. He was giving us a fact. We did not believe him. And I believe that my friend, our friend, Adam McKay, is slowly because he is talking to activists and scientists and getting data from all over the world, going privately and publicly crazy because he knows things about the end of the earth that we do not know that are approaching. Am I saying anything that's inaccurate here, Adam?
No, that seems pretty accurate. Yeah.
But that's also the description a crazy person would have.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Most of the time, if you talk to someone who's gone crazy, they'll tell you they have data. They'll say, oh, it's true. So, yeah.
Billy, what are you laughing about?
I don't know what we're doing. Adam, we were worried last week when you asked us to kind of send people over to raise money for your organization. We were worried that these are the people that are gluing their hands and feet to the floor at places and that our money would be used to buy like glue. Is that the case?
No, it's for our media company, Yellow Dot, and we're raising money for, basically putting out information to let people know about what's going on with the climate, fighting against oil company misinformation. Some of the videos are actually pretty funny. So, no, that's not it.
You have had some difficulty being funny around this, even though you made a whole movie, Don't Look Up, being funny about this.
Yeah. It kind of switches between sometimes being really funny and other times just really grim.
Go ahead and play the happy music that is also really grim.
Die. We're all gonna die. We're all gonna die. We're all gonna die. The oceans are all burning and we're all wondering why. Let's turn on the news and find out how we're gonna die.
He is doing good and important work. It's not for profit work. Yellow Dot Studios. It's up on our screens if you want to help with donations. YellowDotStudios.com is where you go if you want to help the people who help us. What is today's horrifying climate fact of the day? You said it poorly last time. If you want to cover it again, because it sounded like we were making a joke. We were not making a joke. He was giving something that was a fact. So just to reiterate, the Hiroshima bomb stat that you gave us last week, what was that?
So, last week was 14 Hiroshima bombs going off every second of heat being created from, all the fossil fuels were burning. So that was fun. And so this week, we're going to talk about the Dolphins gained 7 football fields worth of offense yesterday, which was jaw-dropping. But, the Canadian wildfires are still going. And they started in late April. And so the stat today is, how many football fields do you think have been burned in Canada since those fires started? I'm going to give you 3 choices. Choice number 1, 900,000 football fields worth of forest. Choice number 2, 8 million football fields worth of forest. Or choice number 3, 19 million football fields.
Chris Cody, you want to take a stab at this?
I think it's number 3.
The worst of these? Can it be that bad? Can it be that bad? And what are... Oh, no.
Well, he hasn't answered yet. They don't play that much football in Canada, so I find it hard to believe they'd have 19 million football fields in the forest.
They used to play a ton.
They play a lot of football there. And if Trevor Lawrence gets hurt and you find out who Nathan Rourke is, you're going to know about it.
Is it 18 million football fields of forest we have burned?
It's none of those. It's 56 million football fields
Come
have
on,
burned.
man. That can't. Is that right?
They don't even have 56 million
That's what
football
I'm
fields.
saying.
It was a
worth
real
of
losing
land.
spot for me.
Exactly right.
That is true.
What do you know about the damage that causes going forward, and how much worse is all of this going to get? I should point out to the audience that this has become a passion of Adam's. He's trying to not feel helpless. He's trying to do some work to activate people and inform people. But what are the practical effects of this continuing? Because all of this stuff is much worse than scientists anticipated and expected and predicted. And what's coming now, later, is going to incrementally keep getting worse.
Yeah. So the fires, normally Canada in the course of a year would generate about 700 million tons of CO2. And these fires alone have generated 2.3 billion tons of CO2. So, and they're still going. Here's the craziest part. The fires aren't going out, and they'll probably just keep burning. They'll probably go through the winter and kind of start to simmer and kind of just smolder. And then when spring hits, they'll just fully pop up again. So, yeah, it's good times. I always wondered why Johnny Manziel or Tim Tebow, well, Manziel tried a little bit, but why didn't Tim Tebow go play football in Canada? And that is no relation to what I'm talking about, that question.
Winter's not going to put these fires out?
No, if you've noticed in your swimming pools, as far south as down here, you're getting soot in your swimming pools. That's from the Canadian wildfires. What?
And the worst part of it is usually these wildfires would actually usually these forests would capture carbon. And that's like trees, obviously capture CO2. And because they're burning, they're not capturing carbon, and they're producing billions of tons of carbon. And the boreal forest, which is, way up north, no one ever imagined that could burn. And that's just constantly burning. Yeah. And the other thing is 8-Chain yesterday, your new running back, gained over 200 yards. You had Tyreek Hill gaining over 150 to over 300. And to my knowledge, that's never happened in a game before.
You can't have stat of the day. That's Mike Schurz. You can't do stat of the day.
But they lit this football
sports.
field on fire, Dan, so it's related.
It's totally related. And it's, I think we really have a choice with climate. We can take in the reality, take action, protest, stop oil companies, demand accountability from our leaders, regardless of their political party.
Glue our hands to the floor.
We can dive deep into sports. So
let's do that one. I'm going to take that ramp.
See you later.
By the way, Billy, what is wrong with the bluing?
Oh, nothing. I just wanted to put out there as people
delays the
saying.
game.
I will
though,
say
too.
it's getting in the way of the sport.
Yeah, that's
I don't
the
know if you
thing.
watched the U.S. Open, but there was a lengthy delay, and it's just like, this is not what I'm on your side.
Yellow.studios.com is where you go if you want to give money and if you want to help, real help.
But if you interrupt one more kickoff, I swear to God, I'm off the team.
Get your priorities straight, McKay. Thank you for being on with us. We appreciate the time, sir. Chris Cody,
Thank you, guys.
we will talk to you soon. He sounds so sad. I mean, it is. It's harrowing, depressing, awful. Nobody wants to hear about it. Nobody wants to consider it. Bodies in Libya and Greece because everywhere it rains. I just drove Saturday. I drove through a place I never had seen flooded before. My car almost got stuck just because it rained.
Like, I'd like to know where Lou Holtz is right now.
Chris Cody.
Tough team.
What he said about our team.
You did not get your Dolphins thoughts off today because
What he said about our team.
Because you fell apart once I asked you for the Dark Knight. Go
I
ahead.
cannot believe.
Is this as good as you've ever felt about your football team in your lifetime?
This is a tough team right here.
I thought the Ravens game last year was as good as it got.
Good, I bought a jersey.
But last night, yesterday, yes, it is, Dan. And like I said, I don't know what it's the best way I can put it as I talk poorly. I don't know how to react to this team.
We're proud to be from Ohio.
I just literally want to sit here and just enjoy this.
And it's always been
So for
Ohio
30
against
seconds,
the world.
you can just stare at me, enjoying this.
And it'll continue to be Ohio
What a
against
cop
the world.
out for him. Hey, you know what's great? The team. You know what?
tell you
Just
what.
watch me be happy.
But I'll tell you what, I love those kids, and we got a tough team.
That is honestly what it's about, though. You got X's and O's for me. This is about this Dolphins team is the team that everyone wants to be.
Tony, he has been dying to talk about this team for 20 years, and he gets the microphone and he barfs on it.
He says, look at me.
Tough team.